Yeah? Alright, awesome. Welcome back guys to another video. In today's video, I have actually forgotten what I was going to talk about. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to be addressing the best way to outreach to clients that have personally worked best for me and how to scale your agency or your freelance business or your team of two to $10,000 or pounds per month. Welcome back guys to another video. So in today's video, as I said, I'm going to be addressing the best way to outreach to your clients, the best current methods to use in this coronavirus times, in these times of quarantine, and what's worked for me. Like for example, my agency signed on 4 new clients in the last, I would say 3.5 weeks. So we've onboarded 4 new clients already, and these haven't been small retainers for like just social media management or anything. These have been Facebook ads, Google ads, big retainers of 3,000 plus, 4,000 plus pounds per month. So I'm going to be talking about those certain ways that we actually acquire those clients and the best methods that you can use in 2020 going on to 2021 and onwards. Of course, if it does change, I'll have to update this video eventually. But for the meanwhile, these are the best methods that have been working for my agency and also for the friends that I've recommended this to and their own agencies. So let's get into it. Now, so to quickly push this out of the way, I'm going to give an honorable mention to LinkedIn Sales Navigator. Now, LinkedIn as a platform on its own is incredibly powerful for generating and acquiring new clients. You can get in touch with businesses that you wouldn't usually be able to get in touch with, and business owners directly have their information and contact them and send them Loom videos or send them emails, build a relationship with them, whatever it might be. LinkedIn has been incredibly powerful for my agency. Now, the reason I said it's an honorable mention is because I don't particularly use LinkedIn to its full capacity. And I don't want to sit here and pretend to say, hey, LinkedIn is the best. You're going to get the most clients on it. Some of you will only use LinkedIn. I know agency owners out there, friends of mine who use LinkedIn predominantly to get their clients. However, that's just not me. So that out of the way, let's get into what brings in the most clients for my agency. Now, I would say about 65 to 70% is through cold Loom outreach. Now, what is a Loom? I've been going on about Looms on my Instagram stories for a very, very long time. I preach about how it's my main client outreach method. And if you don't already follow me on Instagram, make sure you go ahead and do so now because you're missing out on a ton of value. Little shameless self-plug there. Now, Looms are essentially a screen recording of your screen. And what you do is you can speak alongside it real time. Now, Looms work incredibly well. Now, I usually structure my Looms to be between 2 to 5 minutes long. I know that in the past I have done 7-minute long Looms, 15-minute long Looms, but I tend to save that to clients once they've replied back and have shown interest, because then I can justify, okay, I'm going to spend 20 minutes or 15 minutes doing a Loom for this one company. Instead, what I do is I just focus on setting the meeting. I don't focus on getting the sale, because you have to understand, as a business owner, you're going to be getting so many people coming up to you saying, I can do this for you, I can do that for you. And most of the time, they just want a quick paycheck, and that is not what you're there to provide. When you give off that feeling of, I need this paycheck, of desperation, business owners can smell it from a mile away. I can smell it from a mile away. I get people on a daily messaging me, hey, do you need Instagram followers? Do you need people to do ads for you? Do you need this, that? So like, as a business owner, desperation screams to me. It's not an attractive quality, essentially, is what I'm trying to get at. So what I do with Looms is I stick it to 2 to 5, 6 minutes, maybe max, and I just go through their social media, their ads. I show that if they're running ads or not. You can use Facebook Ads Library to look at a page's direct ads if they're running any. I break down their ads, I break down a competitor of theirs, or I show them a case study of some of our clients that we're working with now if they're in a similar niche. When I'm contacting these e-commerce businesses, for example, I have other e-commerce clients to search. I'll just very quickly run through an ad account with them, or I'll run through the ads with them that we have for another client and why they're doing so well and how we can implement that, or how they should be implementing that to their current strategy if they're already running ads. And if they're not running ads, well then, you know, I'm literally showing them why I'm so valuable, and potentially they would want to speak to me in a 20, 30, 40-minute meeting. So essentially, that is all a Loom is. Looms, I would say 65 to 70% of my clients come in through cold outreach Looms because they just work so well, and it's something I'm going to keep on preaching about because it's an amazing conversion tool and tactic. So if you're not already using it for your agency or for your freelance business, I recommend you start doing Looms and sending it out in a more personalized manner, because that is what's going to get your the attention of business owners. So with 60 to 70% of clients coming in through Looms, that leaves about 30 to 40% for other things. And those other things, the next thing on the list is Upwork. Now Upwork brings in around 25 to 30% of the clients to my agency, and it works so well. Now I have automated this process where I have somebody on my team who goes on Upwork daily and applies to about 15 to 20 qualified job proposals, and he sends jobs that are listed, and he sends those proposals. Now, a lot of you may already know about Upwork, and I know that it's getting a lot of attention right now from people in the community onto using it. However, I still notice that a lot of people tend to use it wrong. I had this girl message me. I won't say who, but she messaged me about 2 weeks ago, and she said to me that she was spending about $200, $300, $400 on Upwork a month and only getting 1 to 2 meetings. And most of the time she wouldn't land those meetings because they weren't qualified. I think there's this whole craze on Upwork right now where people are applying to all these Upwork jobs related to do with social media or related to do with Facebook ads, but they're not really qualified. And the people who put these job proposals up, they know who they're looking for. They have a set standard. So if you're applying to the wrong jobs, if I'm applying to social media management when I'm sending them a PDF of all the ads that we've done for clients spending thousands a month, of course they're not going to go ahead and reply to me or even bother going through a meeting because we're not qualified for each other. So what my guy does, my sales team member on my team, he goes and applies to the qualified jobs on Upwork, and only those. Specifically, sometimes even the ones that say agency only, because a lot of them, sometimes they do look for freelancers. So sometimes I've said to him in the beginning when I trained him, I said, look, only apply to the ones that say agency wanted or agency or freelancer wanted, because then you know that we're already in. And because of the results, and because we're applying to the person, we're applying to people in the e-commerce niche, in the info product niche, we're gonna get a message back, we're gonna set up a meeting, and we're most likely gonna close them. So to go back and recap very quickly, LinkedIn does amazing. I don't predominantly use it for most of my things, but it is there. It has got me clients in the past. Next, cold outreach via Loom videos. 60 to 70% of my clients come through this way, and it is incredibly powerful, incredibly personalized, and business owners really appreciate the effort when you go ahead and reach out to them in that sort of way. Number 3, Upwork. About 20 to 25% of my clients come in through Upwork for the agency. Now, that leaves about 5 to 10%. Now that 5 to 10% is usually through referrals. Now my agency is getting a lot of referrals these days. Since this quarantine lockdown season started, I think we accumulated maybe 15 referrals. From the 15, I think 6 of them have been qualified, and we still have meetings set up with I think 3 or 4 of them coming up. So referrals are extremely strong. Now one thing I recommend as an agency owner is actually to set up a referral scheme. It gives them incentive to then pass on your information. Getting good results for your clients is always going to be a topic of interest at dinner tables, at meetings. People are going to talk about you because you're generating amazing results for them. However, if you push them to then talk about you, it's even better. And one way that my agency does this is we simply say, once we have a good relationship established, after a month, after 2, we will simply say to the client, look, if you refer us to a qualified person and we sign them on to the agency, you will get 15 to 20% off your fees. Now, the reason I say 15 to 20%, we don't actually say 15 to 20% of them. We either say one or the other. Sometimes we say 10%. It depends on the results we're getting for the clients. It depends how much they charge, how much we're charging them in a retainer. So it entirely depends on that dynamic. But we just say to them, usually it falls into the category of 15 to 20%, because I'm okay with taking 15% off a monthly retainer if it means I'm going to get another £3,000 or £4,000 a month client very easily without having to do any work. So it's something I recommend you guys take into account. I've written notes for this video now because I have so much to say, and I just can't remember a lot of it. So the next one I want to touch on is paid ads for your agency. Now, this is something that I will be completely transparent about. I have run paid ads for my agency back at the end of 2019 before I went to Bali. Now, the reason I said I want to be transparent is not because I'm lying or this, that. It's because I haven't ran ads for my agency consistently. I ran them for about a month and a half. Now, did they work? Yes, they very much worked. I think I have the statistics here. So within that month and a half of running ads, we spent about 1,500 or I think 2,000 pounds on ads. From that 2,000 pounds, we generated around 29 qualified leads within the e-commerce and within the info product niche. From those, we actually signed 5 clients on. So it was extremely profitable. The ROI was insane because we only spent about 2,000 pounds. We made back, I think each of those 5 clients, the minimum was a 2,800 pound retainer. So you can see that the ROAS I got on it was incredible. It was at least 4 times that. Ads work. Now, the reason I wanted to say I want to be transparent about this is because what works for me at my stage in my agency might not work for you. I don't recommend you run ads for your agency unless you're willing to invest that 1K, that 2K, that 3K, that 4K without seeing any return for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, for 4 months. Now, bear in mind, I only ran this for a month and a half. It was kind of testing phase for most of it. There was a lot of playing about. A lot of it, I think, can be optimized to be a lot more efficient. But this is going to be another 2,000, 3,000 that I'm going to invest into my agency, which I'm now restarting as of 2 weeks from now. We actually have plans to go ahead, and we're currently making a funnel for that on the team. So it's something that works incredibly well, and it's most likely going to transform my agency in terms of how we get clients in the future. That being said, my agency is still signing clients without it. As I said, the cold Loom outreach, the Upwork, the LinkedIn, it's all doing incredibly well. So I just want you guys to bear in mind that just because I run paid ads and I'm in the position where I'm fortunate enough to spend 2,000, 3,000 on ads, it doesn't mean that you have to run ads. And I don't recommend you running ads until you're hitting about 15K profits a month on your agency or more, 20K, 30K, if that. Right, so to wrap up the video, I'm just gonna finish this off with quick 3 bonus things that you can be doing. Now, these are things that I do not personally do anymore, but this is what I used to use when I first started my agency. That being number 1 bonus mention, cold calling. If you're comfortable with cold calling, there should be no reason stopping you. It's a great way to get clients very quickly and add them to your roster. Number 2, Instagram video direct messaging. Now, this is something a lot of agency owners are now starting to pick up on and start to use. I know that there's a very big person in the space that recently did a video on this and how he's using Instagram videos to do outreach, and honestly, it does work well. I used to use it when I first started out about maybe a year and a half ago. I started using them. I stopped using them about 6 to 7 months ago. Although I'm here and I'm recording a video and I'm saying, hey, this is who I am, check out my Instagram, by the way, blah, blah, because you have to have a personal brand before you go ahead and do that. If you have an Instagram page that is filled with junk and filled with you going out and giving the wrong image, it's not going to be relatable to the business owner who picks up that Instagram DM. That being said, it's something that is going to be in the mentions because it didn't work for me. I think I gained, over the span of doing it, I think I must have gained 8 to 10 clients from it. So it does work well. You just have to do a lot more time on Instagram, a lot more browsing through, a lot more searching through. But that being said, it still does work, which is why it's in the honorable mentions. And the last one works here and there, but again, unless you're going to automate this, it's not something I recommend putting everything into. It's just cold emails. If you're not comfortable with sitting in front of the camera for Instagram DMs, if you're not comfortable cold calling, if you're not comfortable doing a Loom and recording your face in it, or if you're not comfortable doing a Loom and recording your voice even over a screen, what you can do is still do cold emails. It's definitely not the most effective, but it's going to be on there because it did get me clients when I first started out, and I just wanted to include all the options I possibly could. And I just wanted to include it in there because, again, this video is, I'm trying to direct this video towards everyone. I want everybody in every sort of aspect, in every level of the agency, people with different confidence levels, with self-esteem, etc., to use all the methods that have worked for me and that realistically work now in 2020 going on to 2021. So as a recap, I'm just going to quickly go over the things that are going to work for sure in 2020 right now in quarantine season into 2021, most likely indefinitely for another few years. That being LinkedIn. LinkedIn is an amazing way to get clients. You're going to put yourself out there in front of business owners and directly speak to them head on. It's a great way to get clients. Next, cold Loom outreach. An amazing way to build rapport. It shows that you did the in-depth research. You're personalizing it to that business. Again, I spend 2 to 5 minutes, so on a daily basis, I could do 30, 40, 50 of these looms if I really wanted to. Next, Upwork. This brings in around 20 to 25% of my clients. It's a freelancer website. You pay to apply to jobs that are already looking for your services. As long as you're applying to the qualified prospects on there, you have very high chances of doing well on it. And again, 20 to 25% of my clients come through Upwork, and these are big retainers, not small ones. Next, paid ads. It worked amazingly when we did it for my agency. We're going to be doing it again in 2 weeks once the funnel is ready, as I mentioned earlier in this video. And of course, the last ones being the bonus mentions, cold calling, if you're comfortable with it and if you still want to do it. If you're approaching brick and mortar businesses, sometimes picking up the phone is going to be a lot faster to reach the owner and set that meeting. Instagram video direct messages, literally picking up your Instagram, finding the owner on Instagram if you can. Sometimes it says owner. Just, searching through brands on Instagram that you would want to do ads for. Do a bit of research. Are they already running ads? Are they not? Sending them a video DM saying, hey, this is my name, blah, 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 30 to 45 seconds. Basically trying to sell it on the meeting, not trying to close them in the video message. And the last one just being simply cold emails, sending out emails to a bunch of prospects that you would potentially want to work with, telling them about your services, what you do, why you want to work with them, and why they should work with you. Pretty much it, guys. So I hope you guys found this video insightful. I hope it was useful for you guys in terms of methods on how to get clients and how to scale your agency up to £10,000 per month or dollars per month in whatever niche you might be doing. These are methods that are going to work now in 2020 during quarantine season, onwards to the end of the year into 2021. So anyways, guys, hope you found this video useful. If you did, make sure you go hit that like button. It really helps with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe, turn on post notifications. Please do leave a comment, whatever it might be. Again, it helps the algorithm. And I'll see you guys in the next video.
But I try not to worry too much about the things that I can't change.